Yes, welcome to the channel, folks, and we are going Marvel Legends in today's video. We're going to be taking a look at the latest cheeky pre-order to drop through my letterbox. It's Marvel Legends What If series, Captain Carter. Yes, hello, welcome to the channel, folks. It's Chris here from MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, the channel all about my life and journey as a massive man nerd trapped in a constant state of arrested development who's forever trying to recapture those nostalgic feelings of his youth as a child in the 80s through toys, games, trading cards, comic books, and all other such like collectibles I keep filling my house with. And as I said in the intro there, I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends What If Wave Captain Carter figure today. It's my intention that by the end of this video, if you've been thinking about picking up this figure for yourself, but you're a bit unsure, you'll have a better steer as to whether it's the figure for you. I'll unbox her and give you my raw first instinct gut reactions from taking her out of the blister pack. Then I'll go away, have a play, pose her up, take some photos, see how she looks on the shelf, and come back and give you a bit of a review. So at the end of the video, you should hopefully have a better idea as to whether you want to go pick one up for yourself or not. And this, I don't often go in on Marvel Legends, if I'm being honest. I like the range well enough, but sometimes either the character's too obscure, or it's just another repeat of a character we've seen a bazillion times before. Like, you know, how many Spider-Mans and Captain Americas have they had over the years? And so I really only ever jump in if there's one that particularly resonates with me. There's a reason that I want to pick it up. So I've been looking at X-Men characters from the comic books, the 90s kind of look and feel, because that's when I used to read X-Men comics, used to love the animated series cartoon. I've got a Punisher somewhere that just really reminds me of the Garth Ennis run that I'm really in love with. And now I have a Captain Carter because I just think this character is absolutely badass. Now, as a British guy, obviously the Union flag stuff, I like the kind of the UK twist on the character. I've been basically secretly in love with Hayley Atwell since I very first saw her, well, on British TV actually, many years ago, but certainly when she first played Peggy Carter in Captain America: The First Avenger, and I really loved her performance and her interpretation of the character in her own TV show. Very short-lived, ended before its time, and so this kind of combination of loving the Captain America aesthetic and vibe with a UK twist, and the fact that Hayley Atwell and the character Peggy Carter are just absolutely amazing, and that it's colourful and it's dynamic and it's energetic. And I've seen some photos of people posing her in dioramas and doing some kind of action shot photography. Makes me think it's going to have a great shelf presence, just really stand out and catch people's eye in the house. So I jumped in and picked her up. It took a while for her to arrive. I think North American fans of Marvel Legends will have seen it a long time before I got a chance to get it in my hands. However, it arrived early. I was told it was going to be much later than this. Yeah, let's stop chunnering on and wasting time. Let's jump over to the overhead camera and take a closer look, shall we? In 3, 2, 1. All right, then let's get this bad lass open. Here we go. There's Peggy. Pretty standard kind of Marvel Legends-y style packaging there. Got the What If logo, obviously the window at the front of the box so you could take a look at the figure and the accessories before diving in. Got artwork all around the box. It's all taken straight out of the Disney Plus animated series with a bit of information about the Watcher Build-A-Figure element that's with the pack. It looks like it's a couple of arms in with Peggy Carter there. Oh, autofocus went a bit funny. So yeah, number 2, Peggy Carter. Advertising the rest of the range, bit of cheeky blurb, all your legal malarkey. So yeah, there we go. But that's not the bit we're most interested in, so let's get into it. We've got a bit of tape on there. My Stan Lee knife. Hey, not the first time I've used that joke. Okay, out you come, Captain. There we are. So slides out just like that. Oh, that's nice and straightforward. A little bit of a cardboard backer. Oh, I like that, actually. Although, thematic... Oh, paperwork. Thematically, that's a bit random. It's like a... Oh, I know what it would be. Yeah, I know what it'll be. It'll be the like the Palais Garnier maybe or something, that kind of Parisian architecture, because she was obviously battling Nazis in France, or Hydra agents in France. So not a great deal going on in terms of the accessory selection. Got the shield there. Then the figure itself. Out you pop, Peggy. Come on. That's it. There we go. And then we have the two Watcher arms there, which for me, not collecting the Build-A-Figure, is of little interest. So there we go. There's the main event. Captain Carter and her shield. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Well, here we are then. Here's Captain Carter in all of her glory, unpacked and ready for action. I've been playing around with her over the last couple of days, posing her up and seeing what I can and can't get done with this figure. And I found a lot to like, but also a fair few niggles, actually, which I'll be straight up, I'll call it out at the top, is a bit disappointing. Now, the first thing that stands out about the Captain Carter figure, of course, is the Union flag twist, that central Union flag motif on the traditional Captain America uniform that we've come to know and love. Obviously, it's very cartoon accurate off the back of that, and it's also riffing very heavily on the MCU and the what if whole idea, so it makes sense, makes perfect sense. But what it does mean as an action figure is it just gives her some real powerful shelf presence. The red, white, and blue is just great. The main blue body of the uniform, and then the flag colours here. But that's also really nicely accentuated by some other little touches. For example, this splash of red and white here on the arm, and at the top of the arm here, and then across her legs here and here. Also, obviously, as a British guy who leans very heavily into the fact that I'm a UK-based content creator and use, this UK-based identity as part of what I'm putting out into the world, she was clearly going to appeal to me. And there's a third layer on that, so great shelf presence, it's a UK figure for a UK collector, and as a third layer on that, as a comic book nerd who used to love the Captain Britain character from the Excalibur comics, I like that there's a kind of a bit of an echo there, and I think, knowing that I've got one on pre-order, a new Captain Britain, is going to make a nice little double piece on the shelf. So yeah, really loving the immediate kind of aesthetic impact of the figure, the colour schemes, and just as a final note, all of this blue, red, white and blue is nicely balanced out by the kind of browns of the belts, of the straps, the gloves, her hair and the boots, of course. Also, on an aesthetic level, I've got an awful lot of love for the facial sculpt and the hair. Really cartoon accurate, looks just like the character did in the animations, in the Marvel What If animations. And while it's not a particularly realistic looking face, that's not what I'm looking for, really. I want it to look like the cartoon version of Hayley Atwell, which it does absolutely. And it's got the kind of the colour scheme choice on the hair. They've chosen not to kind of give it a realistic wash. They've kind of gone for a very kind of cartoon looking kind of body, solid body of colour, and use things like her lipsticks, her eyebrows and her eyes to really accentuate the face. But I mean, look at it, it just looks amazing. It looks like the cartoon realised in 3 dimensions. So a lot of love on an aesthetic level coming from the facial features for me there. Although one thing I have noticed, and I don't know if everybody's like this, I've got a mould line, right across the top of her head, which is a little bit annoying, and you can just sort of see a little bit of it flicking through on the front there. But that's the way that goes with plastic injection moulding, I suppose. Articulation-wise, she's at the standard that you would usually come to expect from a Hasbro Marvel Legends figure. Lots of articulation in the arms, like good movement in the shoulders, at the top of the arm there. She's got good double-jointed elbows, although mine are a bit stiff. Lots of movement in the wrists. You could also bend the wrists back and forward. She's got the ball joint in the hip, which gives her a lot of motion there, although again, out the box, experiencing a lot of stiffness on Peggy. She's then got the groin joint there, the thigh, double knee, and then a little bit of movement in the ankle, although I'll revisit that in a second. So lots of opportunity for posing up. I have found her to be a little bit of a fidget and a fiddle in order to get her into some of the positions that I wanted for the photographs I was taking the other day, and she's not a great stander. Now, the first thing that grabs you about Peggy... Oh, Peggy! Put the shield on for the next section. Oh, come on. Let's talk about these feet for a moment then. So we've got this weird sort of boot sleeve here, which is, you know, cartoon accurate and very accurate to kind of military gear of the time. But what that means is your ankle movement is a little bit restricted. It prevents you from all the way forward, prevents you from all the way back, and it kind of restricts some of the side-to-side movement that you might be looking to do, which I think may be what's contributing towards my experiences of finding her a not great independent stander. So if I let go now, she doesn't stay on her feet. I'd probably describe that as a minor niggle, though, really, because it depends what kind of experience you're looking for. I, as someone who's looking for a shelf piece or for use in some action figure photography that I've been doing, can dig out some foot bases or some stands to hold her up in position and do some cool stuff like this. One other little irritation that I've come across when I've been trying to take some photos with her is the head sculpt. While I love the aesthetic look, the cartoon accurate aesthetic look, and her accurate hair, you've not got a great deal of motion. There's obviously side by side, but as you can see, very little up being prevented by the back here, and not a great bit of down. And it kind of, when you turn it sideways, always hangs a bit low, like she's looking down over here. Someone stood over here with something by their feet, you know what I mean? So I've found in some of the when trying to replicate some of the sort of action poses from the cartoon, I've had a few limitations because I'm unable to bring the head back at all, and the sideways turn just looks a bit kind of funny and uncomfortable because of the way the head sculpt makes her turn. So yeah, there you go. There's another little niggle on the list. Now, Captain Carter comes with one accessory, but it is, a big, very key accessory to the character's identity and what they did in the cartoon. It's obviously the shield here with the Union flag motif on it again. Now, this thing is obviously very character accurate and a big part of the character's identity, but it has confounded me somewhat as I've been trying to put her into some accurate, cartoon accurate action poses and such like. So you can see here, just very loose fitting on the figure. She's got this hand here, this kind of grippy hand, which I thought maybe was to grip the strap on the inside. If I just kind of tuck a thumb under there to grip the strap on the inside there, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And when you try and sort of angle it down, it's, as you can see, just a very loose fit and it falls out very, very easily. So what I did as an alternative was I pushed the arm all the way through, wondering if that would give me a little bit of better resistance to hold the shield and give me more options. I'm struggling now on camera. There you go. However, that also does not seem to give me a better hold either. It's very loose and floppy. And so some of the action shots I've been trying to put her into, I've got a bit of shield droopage, which is disappointing. Lots of movement there. This hand, as well as a hand in any other context, just looks a bit unusual. It's obviously not designed to hold a gun, because she's not got like a pistol finger ready for firing. It's got this weird gap in between there. She's holding a hand in a strange way. So yeah, just an unusual hand, because one of the things that did occur to me maybe was that I could pop the shield on this arm as an alternative. Maybe I thought that'd be a bit better, but no, seems to be equally as loose. And even if it was on that side, it just looks a bit odd. This hand, I don't know what to tell you. Now, my assumption is, although I don't know for sure, I haven't got a Captain America in my own collection, but that's a reuse of a Captain America mold with the Captain Carter design on it, and that perhaps these straps on the inside here have been designed to have a better sort of level of resistance to Chris Evans's big, muscular, body-built arms. That's my only assumption. That's that they've just reused the mold, and so it's not a great fit on Peggy, which has meant that it's been a bit of a fiddle. It's sometimes been a bit disappointing. It's looking all right there, for example, but like if I wanted to sort of bring it in front of her, you can see that it's kind of, you see just how loose it is, and that's been a little bit disappointing. So even though it's an iconic part of her character's identity and image, it's just not quite coming through. I'll tell you what else I would have wished for as well. Perhaps on the back here, as she does in the cartoon, and Captain America is known to do, perhaps a way of fitting it on the back here like that. Even though they've clearly put the strap design in order to do that, there's obviously no practical way they've figured out to make it fit. So despite those little annoyances that I've just described in the review, and to summarise, the weird shield and hand thing on the left arm there, the limited movement of the head, the odd boot thing that's affecting her ability to independently stand, although I have kind of sort of cracked that nut a little bit, or not, and the fact that mine's got the moulding line on the head. Despite all those little annoyances, I still really love this figure. She's bad. I mean, she's badass. She's awesome. The character was really enjoyable in the cartoon, and I'm looking forward to more Marvel What If adventures with Captain Carter. She's got great shelf presence. I think the colour scheme, the sort of Union flag motif there, the quality of the face sculpt just really makes a leap out amongst the action figure collection on my nerd altar right now. I'm pointing over there because that's where it is. Just so it really stands apart. It's got a lot of energy. You can do a lot of dynamic action kind of posing and articulation with her. It's just a little bit of, you know, gentle TLC and finer detail amendments to get you where you need to be. But I think anyone who is looking to get her posed up on a diorama or in a shelf display or for taking photographs is going to be willing to do that, you know. And she's just a badass character. I mean, she's the only one I've picked up from the Marvel What If, Marvel Legendary Figures series, because I loved just Hayley Atwell. I love Peggy Carter. I love this interpretation from What If. I love that she's a British-based character and has got all those kind of nostalgic echoes to the old Captain Britain character. So the plus column is far fuller than the minus column as far as I'm concerned. And I can work around things like the shield being a little bit hinky and this weird booty thing. I mean, I tend to take photos from the knee up anyway, you know. So, yeah, if you're just looking for a character that's got great shelf presence, lots of opportunity for play experience or posing and photography experience, then you can't go far wrong for the price. You really can't. I just wish, I don't know, you know, maybe they'd give her a sword to go in that weirdly shaped grippy hand, or a couple of extra accessories maybe, or something. You know, I just wanted a little bit more, but I think that was my expectations of the figure, not really the fault of the figure itself. So there you go. There's Captain Carter. She gets a MoDXtra Chris thumbs up. So if you've enjoyed my review today, please do take the time to subscribe to the channel and give me a like down below. Also, jump into the comments. Let me know if you picked up Captain Carter. What's your experience been like? Can you get her to independently stand without too much fiddling? Because I can't. Let me know. Love to get into conversation with you. But in the meantime, I've been Chris from MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and I'll see you around these parts again with another review sometime soon.